Continue on. Everybody hit like, everybody hit subscribe, hit follow. Johnny's here. We talked yesterday about Donald Trump and the whole Somalia thing, removing the temporary protection status for Somali immigrants, which, if you look closely, it
doesn't
affects
really do anything.
Yeah, it affects like 500-600 people. But a lot of people would say it's a start. I think for comparison here, there are 80,000 Somalis in Minnesota alone. So I don't know how much 500-600 is going to do, but we've had these problems with money being sent to Somalia ending up in the hands of Al-Shabaab. We've had Somali immigrants leave the state of Minnesota to go fight with Al-Shabaab, and now we have all of this fraud, and a lot of that fraud money is finding its way back to Somalia. So not only are they ripping us off of our tax dollars, but then they're taking that money out of our economy and giving it back to a third world shithole. Yeah. So we have Donald Trump's take on the whole thing. Now let's hear from the number one Somali representative in the United States of America. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking like, Aaron, wait a minute. What do you mean Somali representative? She's a congresswoman from Minnesota. Yes, but I'm just taking her at her word. By Ilhan Omar's own admission, she represents Somalia first.
Yeah, Somalia's interests, and she's going to work to forward Somalia's interests in the U.S. Congress. These are things she's actually said in public to people.
I mean, to me, though, if we're shooting this right down the middle, if you have a problem with Ilhan Omar, I'm fine with that. I do too. But if you don't have a problem with Randy Fine, Ted Cruz, and these other people, I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and call you. I think it might be racism that's driving you and not principle. Because if you don't see the fat tub of shit Randy Fine for what he is, an Israel first politician, then I don't think you get to criticize Ilhan Omar. Now, if you want to shit on both of them, come take a seat right next to me. Come sit.
Well, howdy, sir. I'd be happy to talk to you.
I would look. Would you? Well, come on in and get yourself something cool to drink. If you want to shit on all of them. But this is Ilhan Omar's response to Donald Trump removing the temporary protected status for Somalis. You guys ready to get smarter?
In this country, we do not blame the lawlessness of an individual on...
Motherfucker, you've been here for 5 minutes. Even if I agree with what you're saying, we do not blame the lawlessness of an individual on an entire group of people. First of all, have you been to America? We do that like pretty much better than anyone else. Second of all, we're not blaming an individual's behavior on a group of people. We're blaming the behavior of a group of people on a group of people. I mean, Ilhan, there's a thing called pattern recognition. Here's my problem with liberals when it comes to shit like that. They have a really difficult time grasping the concept of generally versus universally. If we say, hey, we're noticing a pattern, bringing Somali immigrants in here has really fucked up our shit when it comes to...
Not gone good.
Yeah, remittances, terror recruiting, welfare fraud, public service dollars having to be spent. And we're noticing a pattern that a lot of it's Somalis. And Ilhan Omar goes, you can't blame all Somalis. Well, you can't blame all of anyone for anything. I mean, if that was the case, we could never do anything to anyone. Because,
we can say all of the uptake in fraud is Somalis. It doesn't mean it's all of them. It just means that's the only group that came over here and said, let's ramp this up a bit.
So if you have a more precise tool to diagnose this problem, I would love to listen to it. But right now, the most efficient tool we have is to shorthand it and say, in general, Somalis seem to be committing a shitload of fraud, and it's a problem that we should probably be addressing. But Ilhan Omar wants to shut that all down by going, it's not all Somalis. Well, yeah, it's not all anyone, ever. But that's not an excuse in this case.
In fact, like, I'll even meet you, not halfway, but I'll kind of meet you part way there, Ilhan. I'll say the Somalis immediately affected by this temporary protection status are probably the ones that are on their best behavior, not pulling hinky shit. But there's enough of them doing it that's what happened.
Yeah, disabled Somalis, Somalis with actual autistic kids, Somalis with hungry kids that could use the Feeding Our Future program. All that's going away. because you guys fucking ripped everybody off.
A whole community. What we also know is that there is not a single evidence.
Johnny, could you Google something while we're listening to this?
Okay, yeah, sure.
What does Islam say about piercings? Google that, and we'll keep going here.
Okay.
That the president or his coolies have put forth.
His coolies?
That there are any single resource from taxpayers in Minnesota that has gone to aid and abate terrorism.
That's just not true.
Actually, there's plenty of evidence. There was a report released recently where pretty much the intelligence agencies have said that the number one funder of Al-Shabaab is the Minnesota taxpayer.
Right.
So,
there's
no single evidence. There's piles of it.
Yeah. I mean, she is right. There is not one piece of evidence. There's a shitload of it. What does Allah say about piercings? Oh, never mind. I thought we were there.
Yeah, no.
That language is dangerous. That language puts the lives of Somalis not only in Minnesota, but across the country in danger.
See, this is what they've done to hide this fraud historically. Commit the fraud, pull bullshit, and then get these spokespeople in your community to play victim. This is why we weren't able to nip this in the bud at $30 million, $40 million, $75 million.
Racism.
What? $100 million. This is why we weren't allowed to do that, because it was Islamophobic. The CARE would file lawsuits in civil court saying that they can't do this to us because they're doing it because we're Muslim. And now, even when it's completely, the top is blown off it, it's completely out of control. Ilhan Omar goes, well, come on, you can't look into this fraud. You can't do anything to the Somali community about this fraud to try and level it off, because that would be racist and you would want people to die. You would put people in danger. It's like, okay, what would you like us to do? Because I'm sorry, woman, doing nothing is not an option. We've done nothing for a long time, and your community has robbed us blind. And I say your community because you have never made one effort to promote assimilation. You yourself have said, I am a representative of Somalia in the United States. So I will say, your people, what is your idea? And this is what drives me nuts. Their idea is going to be a 15-paragraph way of saying do nothing. And I'm sorry, that's not an option. Your community is poorly behaved and robbing us blind. We're going to have to do something, and you're either going to have to help us or step aside. What does Allah say about the piercings there?
Ear piercings for women are generally permissible. Other piercings are allowable based subject to conditions and scholarly debate. However, if you're a dude, it's not accessible or acceptable, as it's considered imitating women. So as long as you're a chick, it's okay.
Wow.
But it says ears. I don't know. The nostrils very...
Well, it did say other piercings are okay, too. I'll say this. That's actually kind of based, like Islam, kind of a little progressive there on that one.
No tattoos, but you can do piercings.
Okay, yeah, still no. They don't like the... Because your body's a temple. You're not supposed to be getting fucking ink all over it, is the deal.
And if the president believed that, and he had evidence, he would take people to court.
It's really hard to take them to court for fraud they've committed.
Time out. We are. What do you call the shit we're doing? We've taken dozens of people to court already. We are doing it. I mean, this is a pretty desperate attempt, just denying reality. Donald Trump and the federal prosecutors have been taking people to court. And by the way, they're going to continue to take people to court. We would have been taking them to court a long time ago, but the government of Minnesota decided to do fuck all about this for years and years under two straight Democratic administrations, Dayton and Walz. So, yeah, I mean, we're kind of playing catch up now because the rot has been allowed to fester so deep. Ilhan.
And as I was saying, it's hard to take people to court when, like, you start telling them, like, we're going to take you to court over this. We believe you're committing fraud. And then they go back to Somalia.
Well, yeah. And not only that, but like you send the money to Somalia and then it gets to Al-Shabaab. We're not sitting here saying that everyone who does this is just handing money to Al-Shabaab.
Directly funding terrorism intentionally.
Al-Shabaab tries to conquer and take over the money transfer businesses. And then they just steal the money.
So we are sick and tired of the president waking up one day and deciding to put forth falsehoods
What
and
falsehoods?
demonize whole communities, while the ignorant people that support him then take the lies that he's spreading and use it as a fact.
Okay.
Well, as someone who's literally lost services because of your ignorant people, I'm sick of you guys too. So how about you go home? Jesus Christ, sorry.
I mean, yeah, I mean, let's stick to facts then. Facts. Billions of dollars have been taken from Medicaid
Feeding our futures.
fraudulently by Somalis in Feeding Our Future, the Medicaid scandal, the daycare scandal, the services scandal, and the autism scandal. And those are just the ones we know. And I'm sure if we just continued to dig, the rot would run through every single program without fail. And the people who would be indicted would have the same hyphenated, elongated names. I'm sorry, Ilhan. These are just a fact. We didn't go looking for this. Your community did it. If it was a guy named Frank Johnson and he was doing it, we'd find it. We'd prosecute the guy. Remember, the government's the mafia. If you're a citizen and you're stealing money from them, they're going to figure it out and they're going to throw your ass in jail. So I'm sorry that you guys are the ones overwhelmingly committing this fraud, but it's a fact. And again, if 5 or 6 kids are fucking around in a classroom of 40, the teacher's going to make everybody stay after class and get a talking to. Is everyone guilty? No. But everyone's going to hear the fucking message.
We've seen it during the campaign where he said Haitians were eating cats and dogs.
Haitians were eating cats and dogs. Maybe it not be widespread. It might not be widespread.
There was at least one incident.
But we have at least one. We have at least one instance of a guy doing that. By the way, one person writing in, as an employee in the state of Minnesota, I have a line on my pay stub: Somali terrorist organization. Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Oh, it just goes right out of your taxes.
I didn't know that it just went right out of your taxes.
We've seen his vice president repeat those lies. We've seen the media run it as a headline as if it was a fact.
Dude,
because again, it was a fact. You just don't like it.
Dude, this is some Takia shit going on here. This is, you're trying to take the fraud that is absolutely happening, that has been documented. There's no point in proving any more of it. We know. And you're trying to say, you're doing the same thing that Muslims in this country have been doing since we started discovering the fraud 7 or 8 years ago. You're deflecting, you're crying Islamophobia. Somehow you stealing all this money makes you a victim. I really hope the administration stays the course on this and doesn't fall for this shit, because in Minnesota for years, we've been hands off and backing off every time someone goes, we don't even let them get to racism.
As soon as they start going, we're like, I'm out.
This is Islamophobic. Oh, boy, I don't want to be seen as Islamophobic. That's the last thing I want to be seen as. I'm a good Swedish progressive.
Yeah, but eventually that flips, man. Like, I mean, when will we, like, and that's my question. When does Minnesota reach the point of, like, this is Islamophobic? Like, damn right. Have you seen how those heathens behave? Like, when do we hit that point?
It flipped the first time they used the accusation, because they never meant it the first time they used it. They knew it would back people off. It's a tactic. So it was disingenuous from Jump Street. It was, the translation is, quit taking away our money train of fraud.
That is shameful. That is shameful.
Hey, maybe, okay, I'm going to give you that. Maybe the Haiti stuff that J.D. Vance said is shameful. I'm going to go ahead and concede that point. You know what else is shameful? Stealing billions of dollars and destroying programs used to help vulnerable people. That's
from
way
the community that welcomed
That's
you.
way more shameful than a guy saying that a couple of Haitians ate some ducks. By the way, duck is a good meal.
Duck, and by the way, that one happened for sure. There was a couple instances of Haitians taking ducks out of parks.
I wish they would have offered me some duck. I would have paid generously by the pound. Duck is delicious.
Come here and get some geese.
Goose isn't bad. I've had a goose stew before in a crock pot.
Really?
Wasn't bad. Little gamey,
greasy.
Little gamey, little greasy, but you put it in like a gravy broth with some vegetables and potatoes.
Passable. All right.
Pretty good.
That is ignorant. It makes us look like a stupid nation that does not believe in truth but traffics in lies.
Hey, you want to see a stupid nation? You want to go back to Somalia? There's a stupid nation if you want to see one, my dear. Oh,
I don't know. It grinds my gears, though.
What?
It doesn't believe in truth. It peddles in lies. Like you've been lying this whole time and completely ignoring the truth of the truth came out. And the truth came out because the federal government went, look, we're sick and tired of Minnesota just not doing anything about this.
It's wild because Somalis have been bending us over and stealing from the coffers of government at an alarming rate. And then we finally and we let you get away with it for a long time. Then we finally do something and we're not doing it right. We're being racist. There's no way we can enforce the law and not be racist in your eyes. Like, I'm sorry, we have to profile Somalis because that's where the trail keeps taking us. There's no way we're going to be able to clean this up without looking like we're targeting Somalis, because in order to clean this up, we do have to target Somalis.
Because, again, that's the group committing them.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. TDR Shit Show with $2 says, this is for drinking beers. Move that guy up a spot. We can at least move him up and push the racist to the top. Drinking beers? I don't think he's like a racist, is he? Isn't that that's more of?
I haven't noticed if he is, but I don't pay attention to that. So.
I feel like drinking. That's Main Vein, who's more the racist. And I
don't really memorize who the more or less racist people are.
These are my paying customers who have kept us alive for 5 years. So yes, I do remember the more racist ones. I memorize all the ones who are going to get me on a watch list.
Nice.
That's who I remember.
That's fair.
Coltrane with $1 says, we don't do that. Ever heard of gun owners, you fucking bubblehead cunt? I'm just going to assume that he's talking about Ilhan Omar and not us.
I would hope so.
Because I don't think I'm a bubblehead.
And I've never bashed gun owners.
No, but people like her do. He's right about that.
Oh yeah, no, people like her do generalize. She's one of the people who said that white males commit the most crimes in America. Like, she's lied and generalized to a point where I'm like, you don't have any grounds to stand on. Even if you were completely right and Donald Trump just woke up one day and went, we're going to blame the Somalis. It's all the towel heads doing this horrible stuff. Like,
I would kill my dog to hear Donald Trump say towel heads in a national address, just for the record.
That'd be hilarious.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. But yeah, so it's not like he woke up one day and just, did that. Like, we had real evidence of stuff. But we have her who's gone on and, again, said things that have been proven blatantly false. Like, most gun violence is committed by white males in this country. It's like, actually, that's not true.
Well, that is true. The most instances of crime and the most instances of gun crime are committed by white people, but they manipulate the numbers because you have to go by percentage of the population and the white people should be committing more crimes than black people in this country. That should be how it is. For Christ's sake, we're 65. They're starting to now throw Hispanics in with white people. So it's 70. If you count that, 75% of the country is white. If we're not committing most of the crime, there's a giant fucking problem in some of those other groups. So us committing most of the crime is, okay. And by the way, I don't think we're committing most of the crime. We're committing a plurality of the crime. I don't think any one group is over 50%. But we should be, because if you're 65% of the country, you should be committing about 60 to 65% of the crime. But we're not overrepresented. If anything, we're underrepresented.
Yeah, but do we count white-collar crime and all that stuff in there, too?
We don't enforce white-collar crime. This is America, goddammit.
Yeah, that's why. That's what the white people do. It's literally in the name. That's where we go.
We also have to stop pretending. I think we need to break up whites. Because I have more in common with some poor black guy in the hood than I do some banker ripping somebody off committing white-collar crime. I think we got to I think we got to go socioeconomic. I think we got to go money more than race.
No, that's the way we should have been doing it for a long time. It shouldn't be like, colors versus it's like,
And plus,
pay scale.
I don't want to count those white-collar criminal bankers as white because if you catch my drift, I don't think a lot of them are white. I think when a lot of them get in trouble, they claim white. But when a lot of them do something really important or good, they don't really focus on that white part anymore. You know,
Interesting.
kind of like Obama was our first black president when it was really awesome. But if he ever struggled, he was black.
Right.
Or was white. I'm sorry. I fucked that up. My bad.
Yeah, you did.
You're right. We need to separate the whites. Aaron should be with the gays. That's not what I was saying at all. I wasn't saying that I should be with
Why
them.
would we be separating just the whites on sexual preference? That's not a strictly white thing. That seems weird.
Gay blacks are fierce. $2 from TDR Shit Show says us whites can only commit more crime and solve a problem at the same time. Get rid of the Somalis, which costs about $25 each. We can start with that annoying cunt. Maybe I'm the racist. Yeah, a little. I mean, a little.
Just a touch.
I will say this. For 10 years, you guys have been making me very uncomfortable with your bigotry. I mean, you guys are kind of the reason we can't enforce a lot of this shit, because when we do, people like me go, yes, finally we're recognizing a problem that's becoming an issue in the Somali community. And then you guys come storming in. You kick down the door. Yeah, get those fucking Somali mudbloods out of our fucking country. It's like, dude, I had them. We had this. We had a proper reason to go after this, and it was based on policy and crime. And you guys just come in shouting the N-word. Come on, fuck. You know what You know what my audience is in national discourse and getting things done. They're Peter Quill pistol whipping Thanos. And we're Mantis trying to hypnotize him so we can get the gauntlet.
Just let it go.
Right.
Just let it go. It was right there. We've almost got this.
Thanks a lot, Flash Gordon. Drinking beers with $5 says placing Somalis in America is like putting 5 full-grown Asian carp in a large Minnesota lake. They fuck up the entire lake. Hey, we did that too. We did that.
We did both of those things.
Yeah. Minnesota. I don't mean to brag on behalf of my state, but we did both of those things. We put a bunch of Asian carp in our lakes, and we brought a shitload of Somalis into a place where it snows half the year. I'm just saying, we kind of fucking rule. Wally World gifting a membership. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wally World, let's give him his drop.
There's so many Somalians in this bitch.
Thank you very much. 52 memberships away from 600. 600 is where we want to hit for our 5th anniversary of being online. So we want to hit that by Friday, but you guys are doing great now. Just 52 away. Thank you so much. 597 watching the toe right now. 599. Ooh, we should all watch together. We should watch it hit 600. 598. Oh, shit, 593. Fuck. Everybody hit like. Everybody hit subscribe. 600. There it is. Yeah. There it is. Thank you, guys. We're at our, what I would call our break-even point, audience-wise. Thank you for that. Everybody hit like on Rumble. Hit thumbs up on Rumble one time. Everybody hit thumbs up on YouTube. It helps the show dramatically. The more we pump that concept, the more we push that idea, the more people are watching the show. And we thank you for what's been an incredible November. Thank you very much. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow, and watch those numbers bump up there. 603. Thank you very much. You know, we got into the 760s or something yesterday. I wouldn't mind doing that again.
You got a little crazy. That was nice. I'd enjoy it. Yeah, it'd be fun.
I would like to be in the 700s once or twice a week. So thank you guys very much. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow. So I'm sorry this is going to be a big chunk of the show today. I don't think we're going to have more than, another 15 minutes of it. But we do have some more Minnesota Somali fraud stuff. People seem to be enjoying it. So we do have another feeding our future defendant. You know, this is a weird thing because everyone thinks we've moved on. Like every time we have a new scandal, they think that we've moved on to another Somali fraud thing. No. The other ones are still going on.
Oh, yeah.
Like we're still indicting people for feeding our future, which was the last year scandal. And I think that's still the record holder for money. Amount of money stolen is feeding our future. So we have the Feeding Our Future scandal. They're still indicting people. The vulnerable adult one or the handicapped adult services one, that's still in its infancy. They said a month ago that this is going to be going on a while and they're going to be uncovering more. I think Attorney Joe, whatever his name is, said that this is the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. That one, they're like, it's so prevalent and it's so bad. We just have to like screw the actual people that need the program, shut the whole thing down, and let's just look through it and catch everybody that was fucking around.
Well, and I'm going to tell you this. I got news for you. I think that autism one is going to challenge for the record. I think because we've been hearing just in St. Cloud alone, we've been hearing, oh man, there's so many Somalis diagnosed with autism. There's so many autistic Somalis. Not realizing that this was all part of kind of a
money laundering scheme.
It was it was a fraud scheme. So I think you're going to find a lot. The fraud in the autism thing is going to be huge. But Feeding Our Future is still going on. We have our 78th person charged in the Feeding Our Future scandal. Now, if you're like, Aaron, you're my source there in Minnesota for what's going on. I've got too much shit going on in my life. What's going on? Which one is the Feeding Our Future? Now, if you don't know, don't worry. We've got like an encyclopedia knowledge of these different scandals in this state. Feeding Our Future is the one where poor kids would get fed meals by restaurants. It was a government program to encourage private philanthropy, which was if you own a restaurant or a grocery store or whatever, and you feed a bunch of poor kids, then we'll reimburse you for a portion of the cost of that food so you can keep poor kids fed. Well, in the Somali community, there was this fat white woman who would go to these Somali restaurants and they would say, look, do me a favor. Write down that you served 4,000 kids today, which is impossible. And this shows why we need Doge. This shows why the government, like the federal government, kind of deserves to be ripped off on a lot of this stuff because we're finding out that we just don't give a shit and we just write blank checks. And
people just okay numbers.
Yeah, they just say, yeah, sure, sounds good. This little shoebox Somali restaurant on a street corner on Lake Street was apparently serving 4,000 kids a day. And they were getting tens of millions of dollars in reimbursement for this. You know, a scandal that nobody talks about in Minnesota is the food stamp scandal. Do you know that one?
I do not. What is the food stamp scandal?
Well, this one,
selling them?
In St. Cloud, they've busted people on this, but I think this is probably going on everywhere. People come in with food stamps, and they sell them to the grocer, the Somali grocer.
So yeah,
the Somali grocer buys them for like 60 cents on the dollar and just gives these people cash for the food stamps. And then the grocer, without having to give away a single product, a single apple, anything, a goat, sends
all the money.
Sends that to the federal government. They send him 100%, so he makes a 40% markup on the food stamps. And there you go.
Still has his whole store's inventory to sell.
And still has his whole store's inventory. It's a nice little... Well, because I don't know if you know this, but grocery stores work on about 1.5 to 2% profit margin. It's razor thin.
So that's a nice bump to have if you can get it then.
40% is a nice little markup, my friend. So Feeding Our Future was where these restaurants would claim they were feeding people. They would take the check. Meanwhile, they're not feeding a single soul. And this was prevalent in 3 cities. Minneapolis, St. Cloud, and Wilmer. Those 3 cities.
You're going to go Rochester, but okay.
Those 3 cities have very large Somali populations. So they've now indicted a 78th person in Feeding Our Future. His name? You want to guess his name?
Tom Bradshaw.
Frank Wilson. No, it's Abdi Rashid Bixi Dul.
No, Ilhan, we're just bigots, and we're profiling.
Yes, or as Ilhan Omar would say, "God damn this white supremacy." I believe is the way.
Look, some Muslims did some things. Okay,
exactly. That's all it is. By the way, thank you to Wally World for gifting another membership.
There's so many Somalians in this bitch.
There are a lot of Somalians in this bitch. We're also 51 memberships away from 600. I think my Rumble chat broke. I hate when this happens. I think I need to refresh my Rumble chat.
Internet's been weird lately. I had to like reset Google and stuff because it wasn't parts of it weren't working, and then when I did, like, I had to clear my cache and everything. That's why I sent you a message on Facebook saying I didn't get the link because I looked at the message and it was from like a fucking year ago. And I had to re-update my messenger. And once I did, today's links were right there. And I was like, oh, never mind. They're right here.
Yeah, and I missed $5 from drinking beers. He says, my tax dollars could go to Johnny's mobility. Nope, it goes to nobody fucking knows. Well, Johnny lost a program that when he moves out.
That would help me find a fucking place. Like, I'm finally working with an agent now to get it. And, like, all of this might have happened faster if we didn't have a government shutdown and rampant fraud in this state.
Well, not only that, but you lost a program now that once you get settled into a place, they could provide services.
Isn't it great? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've only been a tax-paying citizen my entire working life, including now. And anytime I bought a product as a child, I paid money and paid sales tax. So, I mean, it's only been my whole life. These people who just got here could do that.
Bobby with $5 says, hey, Toe, I gifted one membership yesterday morning and during the evening show. Plus this $5 puts me at 50. With a name like Aaron, it doesn't surprise you that surprised me that you Jewed me out of it. That would put you at 15. Bobby.
Yeah.
One membership. Oh, and Bobby says 8 during the evening show. That puts me at 50. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Camel Toe. I did count those, but Camel Toe says they're at 50, and then what do I have Camel Toe at? 40. So I missed $5 because that would have put them at. All right, so now you're at 50. You're ahead of Red Fox Mad. I want to apologize, guys. Camel Toe's busting my balls on PayPal there about my malfeasance and my counting problems. I apologize. That's going to put Red Fox Mad in central booking at 45, Camel Toe in fourth with 50. Thank you. Very, very much. I appreciate it. Sorry, it's my bad. Drinking beers with $2 says, I miss getting the free tiny steaks from the Planned Parenthood dumps. Oh, you piece of shit.
That's
you fucking asshole. Wally World gifting a membership. Throw him one.
There's so many Somalians in this bitch.
We're an even 50 away from 600 now. Thank you. You guys have been, I mean, I don't mind interrupting the show to go through people's contributions to the program. Lord knows that's what you pay for. So thank you very much. This morning has been fantastic.
It has.
And again, we appreciate it. Gray Duckling with $2 says, does incest cause autism? I wonder what he means by that.
I mean, we haven't seen a whole. Well, are the British royals very autistic?
Oh, fuck yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I'd say the evidence is pretty proven.
I'd say, yeah. Here, hold on. Does incest? I love having these searches in my history.
In your history, right?
Does autism cause, or does incest cause autism? Does autism cause incest?
I feel like either one could lead to the other.
If you're good at counting toothpicks, will you fuck your cousin?
Thank God I'm not autistic, and I don't have a cousin.
No, incest does not cause autism. So of all the things that incest can cause, autism ain't one of them. So congratulations, cousin fuckers. There's one bullet you dodged.
Well, I'll tell you what, my kid might be cross-eyed with one tooth, but at least he ain't autistic.
My kid might look like the fish that crawled out of the water in the Simpsons movie, but he ain't good at counting. Oh, all right. He might drool on the floor and grunt like Charles V of Spain, but at least he doesn't meticulously point out color patterns. All right, well.
Does he have a Habsburg jaw? Yes. Does he have autism? No. I feel like the results speak for themselves.
Does he have a Habsburg brain? Yes. Does he have a Forrest Gump-like acumen for ping pong? Fuck no. Thank you very much. Drinking beers with...
I'm proud of my boy.
Drinking beers with $5 says, I ingest crushed eggshells as to scratch my rectal sphincter upon discharge.
That's
let me tell you something, Johnny. When you do a show for listener donations, you just have to accept a lot of things. All right?
It's graphic.
And one of those things is that Drinking Beers wants to give us $78 today just to tell us shit like that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Drinking Beers. All right. I've got one final Somali fraud story today.
Really? Only one, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
One more Somali fraud story. A judge in deep blue Hennepin County, you know, Hennepin County, again, I get to be your Minnesota tour guide today. That's Minneapolis.
That's the heart of the city.
The hub of liberal Minnesota is Hennepin County. You got Hennepin, Ramsey, Anoka, and there's one. What's the southern one? It's not Dakota. Might be Dakota. The southern. Oh, fucking hell. Minnesota counties. I'm going to do this. It's Hennepin, Anoka, Ramsey. There's one more that's kind of the big liberal county in Minnesota. And security. I got to do a security check to fucking look at a map of Minnesota's counties. Suck my dick. I'm going to geology.com. That's my flex. Here we go. We got Hennepin, Ramsey. Carver County's okay. Scott County's okay. Dakota and Washington County. Anoka County. And that's about it. You got those.
I thought Olmsted was one that was pretty bad because of Rochester, but I could be wrong. I haven't been in Rochester in a long time.
Rochester is pretty liberal, but everything around it is conservative. Yeah.
All right.
I would say Dakota, Washington, Ramsey, Hennepin, and Anoka. I would say those five are probably your big liberal counties. And then St. Louis County has Duluth, but outside of Duluth, it's pretty red outside of that area. But anyway, Hennepin County has a judge, and I wish we got the judge's name in this write-up here, but we'll get it in the story. A judge in deep blue Hennepin County has overturned the guilty verdict of Abdi Fattah Yusuf after he stole $27 million from taxpayers. The ruling could now open the door for other fraud convictions in Minnesota to be overturned. Jurors are shocked by this decision. We'll listen to the story in just a second. I have no other choice here but to believe that some kind of payoff or bribe. Yes, I'm accusing this judge of being fucking dirty because there's one thing to be lenient because you're liberal and you believe in immigration. That comes in the form of lax sentencing, lax bail, shit like that. In order to overturn, not 72 million, 7.2 million, still a lot. To overturn a $7.2 million guilty fraud verdict from a jury that came to it unanimously, that's how our system works. To overturn that, you've had to have had something put in your pocket. You've got some kind of campaign contribution, something that
if he didn't, I'd be even more pissed.
Yeah, if they just did this out of the goodness of their liberal heart, that would really piss me off. Let's find out what happened here. This is insane.
This trial for Abdi Fattah Yusuf. The jury heard evidence that he ran his home health care company, Promise Health, out of a mailbox at a Central Avenue address where multiple other home health care companies were supposedly located.
In this one building.
In this one mailbox.
This one mailbox, this one address, had a bunch of healthcare facilities stationed there. You know when you go into those strip malls and there's like an investment firm and an accounting firm, and there's like 7 other accounting firms in that same office?
Doesn't seem hinky at all.
No.
Yusuf and his wife, Lol Ahmed, were charged with stealing $7.2 million of taxpayer money through Medicaid overbilling in a personal care assistant or PCA scam. The couple allegedly spent tens of thousands of the fraud money on luxury items for themselves. Despite the jury swiftly convicting Yusuf, Judge Sarah West last week decided they got it wrong.
First of all, she looks like she's 12. I'd like to know how she got her bench seat. Also, of course, this is the face of the woman who vacated the conviction.
The judgment.
This is a jury. I mean, a judge. It wouldn't be the first time that a judge has disagreed with a jury's verdict, but you have to accept the jury's verdict. That's how our system works.
It's reversing or overturning a jury's verdict.
Defense attorney Joe Tamburino, who's not affiliated with this case, reviewed the decision and analyzed it for KARE 11 News. He says Judge West ruled that the state's case relied heavily on circumstantial evidence and that she believed the state did not rule out other reasonable inferences.
That in fact,
that's not your, but that's for the jury to determine. The jury's supposed to determine whether it's substantial evidence or circumstantial evidence. It's not the judge's job. The judge gives the instruction to the jury and tells them to make their best decision. Wow, this is insane.
there could have been other
Again,
reasons.
she better be getting paid.
Yeah, she'd better be getting a check from this because this is egregious.
Other reasonable inferences.
That in fact there could have been other reasonable theories other than guilt in this case. That's what it comes down to.
Despite the ruling, even
I'm tempted, I've never felt this urge during the show before. And if it wasn't so early in the morning, I'd consider it. I want to call Sean. I want to call potentially criminal Sean and ask him if a judge can fucking do this.
Well, not only is that part upsetting, the fact that, again, this is circumstantial. Yeah, the circumstance of their mailbox of their private residence housing multiple medical care companies. It's so obviously some sort of a scam. And I'm just I'm gobsmacked to the idea that she's this is just, it's all circumstantial. And it's all predicated on this idea. It's not, they didn't really prove their case. Does a judge just get to come in and go, you guys voted wrong? So can we have someone do that for George Floyd? Can a judge just come in and go, look, this entire thing was fucked from Jump Street. You guys paraded the jury past the war zone of Minneapolis. People were publicly saying that the country will burn if this guy doesn't go to jail. So I feel like that guy didn't get a fair shake. We're going to vacate that fucking judgment. How about we do that one?
I don't know. And who is that judge? Biggest fucking balls who ever lived?
I'm a fan of his. It's Judge Grady. If Sheriff Grady ever goes over to the judge side, that's Judge Grady.
First of all, if Sheriff Grady if Grady Judd ever becomes a judge, he's going to set records for the most constitutional violations.
Judge West wrote that she is troubled by the manner in which fraud was able to be perpetuated at Promise Health.
I was stunned.
State Representative Kristen Robbins, chair of the House Fraud Prevention and State Oversight Committee, says she's now reviewing if any state laws need to be tightened.
We want to strengthen state law so that we can get prosecutions out of these cases. Because
no, I think what you did is you found a really disgusting, crooked judge, and they got Somali fraud money stuffed into their pocket to overturn this conviction. I mean, it's just they just pulled a straight up dirty move.
a jury thought he was guilty.
Jurors in the case can't believe the decision.
I am shocked. I'm shocked based off of all of the evidence that was presented to us and the obvious guilt that we saw based off of the said evidence. It was not a difficult decision whatsoever. The deliberation took probably 4 hours at most. Based off of the state's evidence that was presented, I was beyond a reasonable doubt.
Circumstantial? What's circumstantial about the fact that he ran the damn thing out of a mailbox, that he kept making all these claims for all these companies that he was running, and they all were held in one building that could have never held that many actual legit businesses? What's circumstantial about all that? These are addresses, these are billings, these are companies, these are hard facts. And this judge just overturned it. I'm with you, Johnny. I don't mean to encourage bribery, but she better have got paid, because if she did this out of the goodness of her heart, then she's the most retarded judge who ever lived and doesn't deserve to have a fucking law license, let alone be a judge.
And I'll say this, if she did it just out of the goodness of her heart, she's clearly a Minnesotan.
Yeah, right.
The attorney for Mr. Youssef, Ian Burrell, sent me a statement today that says, in part, Judge West's ruling affirms what we have maintained from the beginning, that our client, Mr. Youssef, was wrongfully accused and did not commit fraud or racketeering.
That's not what she said. That is not what the judge said at all. What the judge said was she felt a lot of the evidence was too circumstantial.
and that the state didn't necessarily prove the burden of their case.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean you're innocent. That just means, in her opinion, they didn't do a good enough job proving you guilty.
The Attorney General's office filed an appeal this afternoon.
Good.
So the Minnesota Court of Appeals will take a second look at this decision.
Good.
Julie.
So, Lou, did Mr. Tamburino, did he have any kind of emotional reaction? And this is pretty stunning. This does not happen.
Yeah, he leaned towards the idea that this was kind of a one-off and that it would have a good chance at appeal. But the worry is that there's so many other cases just like it where somebody's in the exact same position as Mr. Yusuf but is charged with fraud. And if the judge can determine that maybe they didn't know that the fraud was going on underneath them in the case, then other judges could throw it out just like this one.
No, because
there's so many Somalians in this bitch.
That just actually kind of works.
That's ironic.
It sounds like, and the media in Minnesota, by the way, like really covers for Somalis. Like they really don't want to be seen as Islamophobic. So they're going light, but you can tell by every inference they're making that everyone they talked to went, this doesn't happen.
This doesn't happen. This isn't normal. And more importantly, like when it comes to this, we have documented money trail evidence of obviously fraud to ridiculous amounts. And we have one group of people every time that we come back to that seem to be the ones doing it. So
this is just straight up doing the dirty move in public.
Yeah. I'm tired of my eyes seeing the thing, and when my mouth calls it out, I'm a misogynist or a bigot, but I watched it happen. That bitch just totally turned that whole thing around. Somebody paid her.
Totally okay. I'm used to it.
All right.